Look at the comment section of the 2026 Met Gala. When Olympic gold medalist Alysa Liu arrived in a custom red Louis Vuitton gown, her styling team offered a hyper-intellectual explanation. They claimed the ruffles were a profound architectural metaphor representing human cellular anatomy, vascular veins, and muscle striations. The internet's response? Love from the public, but hate from the critics. Critics immediately pointed out that it looked less like cellular biology and more like a basic ruffled dress from a suburban prom shop. It was labelled one of the worst dress looks of the night, but this isn't just a story about a bad dress, it's an exposure of high fashion's favourite modern weapon, the use of pseudo-intellectual language to disguise corporate mediocrity, and how the general public are sick of it. Welcome to Bakewell, where we dissect the meaning behind fashion and fashion psychology. To understand why this happens, we have to look at the shifting economics of the Met Gala. This year's theme, costume art, explicitly demanded that fashion prove its status as an artistic medium. But high fashion critics noticed a glaring issue, a complete recession of originality. Luxury houses are no longer designing for the theme, they are designing for their balance sheets. Ahead of the gala, Louis Vuitton officially announced Alysa as their newest house ambassador. The priority wasn't to push artistic boundaries, it was to place a universally loved viral athlete into a highly marketable, safe silhouette. The result was a clunky, compromised design that pleased almost no one. Why does the fashion industry use such absurd, complicated language to describe clothing that looks completely basic? Because they're practicing a psychological tactic called conceptual arbitrage. When a luxury house sends an uninspired dress down the red carpet, they can't justify its multi-million-dollar asset value on aesthetics alone, so they invent a narrative. They tell you a simple red ruffle isn't a ruffle, it's a metaphorical cross-section of a biological cell. By wrapping mediocre design in academic jargon, the industry creates an artificial barrier of entry. If you think the dress looks boring, the implication isn't that the designer failed, it's that you aren't smart enough to decode the art. It is the ultimate luxury scam, selling corporate marketing disguised as a thesis paper. But the ultimate irony of the night is the general public actually praised Alysa Liu's look on social media because it looked normal and refreshing compared to the ridiculous avant-garde chaos of the red carpet. The public loved it for being a basic, pretty dress, but because the Met Gala theme demanded high art and the brand's PR machine panicked, they couldn't just let a ruffle be a ruffle. They had to tell you it was a metaphorical cross-section of a cell. When the industry's marketing jargon is completely detached from what the human eye actually sees, the illusion breaks down. This strategy is a direct response to a hyper-saturated digital culture. In 2026, a dress cannot just be beautiful, it has to generate an intellectual press release. Take Lauren Sánchez, who weaponized an obscure 1883 painting reference by John Singer Sargent to defend her polarizing Schiaparelli gown as an anti-establishment statement. Or Kim Kardashian, who arrived in an Alan Jones bodysuit where her stylist was officially credited not as a dresser, but as her personal creative director. Luxury houses are over-engineering backstories because fast fashion can copy a silhouette in 48 hours, but they can't copy a thesis paper. This is why elite fashion critics were frustrated with the gala. While social media loved the dress for its conventional beauty, critics hated it because it exposed how corporate the event had become. Luxury brands have become too risk-averse to create actual art. They are terrified of alienating a mass market, so they produce safe commercial garments and pass the burden of creativity onto the marketing team's vocabulary. So the next time you hear a designer use dense academic poetry to defend a garment that looks completely ordinary, realise what you're actually witnessing. You aren't looking at a breakthrough in art, you're looking at a defensive marketing strategy. The industry is betting that if they scream loud enough about the intellectual depth of a design, you will forget to look at the actual stitches. And based on the billions in media impressions generated by these corporate arrangements, they are being proven exactly right. The clothes are not deep, they've just trained us to look for meaning, where it doesn't exist. And make sure to follow for more visual breakdowns, and we'll see you in the next video.